Hey guys, so this is the video for the museum week 2 assignment. So if you have not started it, I suggest that you go ahead and open up your week 1 assignment so that you have that ready to go to help you out. And also download this document for week 2 so that you can just go ahead and fill it out as I'm going through this so that you don't have to come back. This week you're doing your artifacts, so you're going to decide on some artifacts for each era, but you only have to do it for 3 eras this week. So this is our document. You're going to download it from Edmodo. It's the same exact thing as last week. Just make sure that you've got your name and that you cite your artifact sources, which we'll get to in a second. So I'm just going to type in my eras. I have to go back to my week 1, just type in the eras that I chose. You just have to do 3 this week. And then I'm going to go to my timeline and I'm going to choose which events I want to find artifacts for. So I chose Jamestown, and I just went to Google and literally typed in Jamestown, Virginia artifacts. Scrolled down a little bit and I found this cool tooth hook thingy here. And I clicked on it and I did some research. I read a little bit about it and figured out what it was. And it turns out that this is used as a toothpick or an ear cleaner, which is really disgusting, but also kind of cool to have in a museum. So I'm just going to copy the picture. I'm going to paste it in my artifact box here. I'm going to resize it because it's massive and I don't want my document to be 20 pages. So I'm going to resize it, and then remember, this is research, so you're going to have to go back and read just a little bit about what exactly this artifact is. I don't want a massive description. I don't need a paragraph or a website like what you just saw on my screen. I just need a little baby caption. And I need to copy the website address. It needs to go under the picture. If you submit artifact pictures without a website under it, it will be an automatic 0 because that is plagiarism. All right, so then I'm going to write out my little baby description. This is a toothpick. Remember, make sure that you're putting all of this in your own words. I'm just rephrasing it in my own terms. This is not the placard. This is just the little description for this week's assignment. I don't want paragraphs, okay? So now I'm going to go back to my timeline. I'm going to decide what's the next event that I'm going to do. You don't have to do the second event, but I think that's a pretty important event when slaves first begin being brought to English colonies. So I sped up the video a little bit, so you're going to see I'm researching, trying to find what the best artifact might be for this. So through this, I'm going to go through Google, I'm going to go through the Smithsonian website, the History Channel website. This is, like I said, it's research. I didn't read through every single one of these. I just kind of skimmed through until I found an artifact that I wanted to include. So eventually I came across this traveling museum about the arrival of the first Africans here in America. You're going to have to search a few different places. Like I said, Smithsonian, History.com, National Geographic, all those things will be great websites for you guys to find some pictures of artifacts. So eventually I found these little clay pipe fragments. So I decided on this. I copied and pasted. You can see that the description is actually copied with it. You are not going to leave that because that is called plagiarism. You're going to put it in your own words. And you're going to have to go back to the website a few times. I read through this paragraph a couple times to make sure that I was putting it in my own words, but also including pertinent, little details. And make sure that you also copy and paste the website that you got it from so that I know where all of these things came from. Not only will you get a 0 if you don't do it in this assignment, but you also will really, really struggle towards the end. So now I'm going to look through. I'm just going to find whatever the next events are that I want to find an artifact for. So I chose the Salem witch trials because that was fascinating, and I did some research again. I sped up the video a lot so that you guys didn't have to sit there and watch me researching for, this took me about 30 minutes to do, total, not for just one artifact, but it took about 30 minutes. So I came across this artifact. It's a letter. Well, no, it's not a letter. It's a deposition that somebody was accusing another woman of witchcraft. So I decided on that, and this is just me reading about it. Like I said, I thought it was really fascinating. So I'm going to copy the letter. I'm going to put it in my document. Remember, you can either right-click and copy and paste, or you can do the keyboard shortcuts. For this image, I actually had to crop it because there was a lot of white background. So I just cropped it, made it smaller, wrote out my little details, document written by a girl who accused a woman of witchcraft in 1692. All right, and there's my website. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to find out which event I'm going to do next, and this is going to fast forward a lot. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm literally going to type in whatever event I chose and then artifacts, and I'm going to find the artifact that I want, and I'm just going to fill it in on my document. So the next one I chose was the Stamp Act. So I was looking through a bunch of different stuff, but I ended up just using the original thing that I found anyway. Copy and pasted it. Got my website. Got my description. And then next I'm going to do the Boston Tea Party. I found this really cool little vial of tea leaves that were collected the day after the Boston Tea Party. So I'm going to put that in here. All right, so at this point, I had been working for about 30 minutes, and I felt like that was plenty of time, and I decided to go ahead and edit your assignment. So you were originally supposed to do 7 artifacts for each era, so I cut that down to 5 artifacts for each era. So this week, you need to do that for 3 eras, which means you need a total of 15 artifacts this week. All right, and I'm going to post this little screenshot in Edmodo so that you guys can see it. So please make sure that you are paying attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to all of the updates that we're posting on Edmodo, Remind, and the YouTube channel. Like I said, you need to make sure that you have done this for 3 of your eras this week. You need 5 artifacts each. And make sure that you are copying and pasting the website that you found the artifact under your image. Without doing that, if you don't do the website, you are going to get an automatic 0. So please make sure that you are following all of the instructions that are on here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to fill out the Google form for a personal, individualized Zoom session. Remember, we will do one during the week. We'll do a Q&A so that you guys can ask some questions. But this assignment is not going to be due on a Sunday. It is due on Friday. So please make sure that you don't put this off to the last second. It took me about 30 minutes to do 1 era, so just keep that in mind. All right, guys, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.